The Idea of North are perhaps our country's best-known a cappella group, and they're here to perform some shows in Melbourne and give us a treat right here in the studio. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Hi.
We're not used to having that many lovely sounding voices. Like even the hello sounded good. Now, I understand that the founding members of The Idea of North met while studying in Canberra back in the 90s. There's one surviving member.
Yeah, well, actually, everyone's still surviving, but there's just one of me left in the group.
Tell me, how did you originally form?
We were all singing as part of the 12-member vocal jazz ensemble at the School of Music, and then, you know, a rebel group broke away and started up a thing where we didn't actually have instruments to use, so we just started jamming around on some charts that we had and writing some things and came up with a few songs and sang them to our family, and they said, that sounds great, learn another song. And that happened for about 5 years until we had about 5 songs in our repertoire. Yeah.
One song a year. I feel like you could do better.
Well, the thing
I
is
feel like you needed to be working
The thing
harder.
is that our main focus was the 90s, so our main focus was going to the movies and rollerblading. So music was just secondary.
And that skill's earned you a lot of money since, I'm sure. So tell me, how has the group's sound evolved over time?
I'll let our musical director answer that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, this is, I think, the 10th iteration. We just worked out the other day there have been 10 different members in The Idea of North over 24 years now. And the most stark contrast from the beginning is the addition of our vocal percussionist, Kai Kitamura, from Tokyo. He makes us sound a little bit more like the second option you played and a little less like the first one. And you'll hear what he does in just a minute.
How do you choose which songs to perform? Is it a bit of an argument? Is there a bit of a scrum for who's going to...
There isn't an argument because I'm the musical director, so I get to make all the decisions.
So how do you choose the songs that the group will perform?
You know, it's usually songs that I like enough to include in the repertoire, but don't like so much that I want to make them my job. Because once you learn a song, for example, there's a Joni Mitchell song called A Case of You, which Nick has been asking me to arrange for years, and I keep saying no because I'm so emotionally attached to that song, I don't want it to become something that I do every day.
Job. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's a very self-serving career, really, and I tell these guys what to sing and they sing it really well, so I'm very, very lucky.
And do the favourites amongst the group to perform align with the favourites of the audience?
Not often, actually.
Interesting.
Audiences like very consumer-friendly things, of course, that's why they're called consumer-friendly, and we like the ones that give us the most challenge, which are sometimes more controversial.
Okay, well, I think that's enough talking.
Okay.
Quite frankly.
We didn't do very well on that, guys.
Oh, you did. Your talking was far more melodic than anyone we've ever had in the studio. I am going to let one of you introduce it. Who's going to be the boss?
Well, speaking of Joni Mitchell, we are actually going to do a Joni Mitchell song for you right now. So it is Big Yellow Taxi.
Oh, yay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, ba, ba, ba. Ooh, ba, ba, ba.
They play Paradise, put up a parking lot with a pink hotel and a swinging hot spot. It always seems to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone. They play Paradise, put up a parking lot. Hey, yo, they play Paradise, put up a parking lot. They took all the trees, put them in a tree museum, and they charged all the people $1.50 just to see him. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone. They play Paradise, put up a parking lot. They play Paradise, put up a parking lot. Hey, farmer, put away the DDT now.
Give me spots on my apples, just give me the birds and the bees now.
Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone. They pay paradise, put up a parking lot. They pay paradise, put up a parking lot.
Put up a parking lot. Put up a parking lot.
Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got
Till it's gone. Late last night, I heard the screen door slam, and a big yellow taxi took away my home.
Don't it always seem to go? Don't it always seem to go?
Don't it always seem to go?
Don't it always seem to go? Don't it always seem to go? Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone?
Bravo, bravo. I don't feel like I'm enough. I don't want to clap because then you get a single audience member clapping, but I promise there's thousands of Melbournians who would have very much enjoyed that. If you have just tuned in, you're on Afternoons with Jamila Rizvi, and what you just heard was the Idea of North, who are going to be playing a couple of shows right here in Melbourne, and we're going to tell you more about how you can get your hands on some tickets to hear more of what you've just heard. But first, I've got a few more questions. I know that through the 24 years and the different iterations of the group, there's been a lot of critical acclaim. I want to know, what has that felt like, having that kind of success? Because music is one of those arenas that so many people go into and will never have those awards that come and that acclaim and that success and really make a living out of it as a career.
Yeah, it's a very odd thing, that whole awards and music combination, because I don't feel music should ever feel like a competition.
Yeah.
And so it's strange, but it is affirming that, you know, we've been working hard and working on creating a product that people enjoy and increasing our profile and those kinds of things. So, yeah, we've won 2 ARIA awards for...
Just casual 2 ARIAs?
Just a casual 2. We've been nominated for 5, and 2 of those we won for Best Jazz Album. One of them was with James Morrison. We recorded an album with James, and that wasn't actually an a cappella album. So that was an interesting project and process. But I suppose the best... I feel like the most important acclaim, it happens at the end of the concert, you know, and when you can really genuinely see how much people have enjoyed the performance and what we've created and how we've sold the music to them. Because it's, there's something that just can't, there's something about live performance that can't be reproduced on disc or no matter how high res your digital download choice is.
I was a bit silly at the start of the show and was talking about films like Pitch Perfect and TV shows like Glee, but have that sort of popular culture understanding of a cappella and what it is. Has that meant that there are more younger people who are interested? I know you do some work with students.
Yes, we do. We do a lot of work in schools. We've actually just come from a school yesterday. We've got another one tomorrow, which is wonderful. And something that we're noticing is that it's not just for choir nerds anymore.
Hey!
We worked with a lot of choir nerds over the years, and now we're noticing that it's singing isn't something to own up to as if it's, as if you're picking your nose or something. It's actually something that people wear as a badge of pride. And that is really, really heartening for us because we've been doing this for 24 years, but we're a niche within a niche. And for our industry to recognise what we do is one thing, but it's the next generation who are going to keep the art form alive in Australia because it's a very small pool that we're swimming in. So that it's as much as I don't love watching Glee, I'm very glad that it exists.
They're making us popular, but I don't want to be involved with it.
Exactly.
Now, tell me, if there's someone listening right now who'd like to come along and see you perform, how do they get their hands on some tickets?
Yes, absolutely. So they can head to our Facebook page. We've got the event up there. But the most straightforward way would be to go to stickytickets.com.au and they can search for The Idea of North. The show's called The Conversations and it's in Paran at Melbourne Polytechnic. They've got a theatre there called the David Williamson Theatre.
Thank you.
So we're doing 4 p.m. and 7 p.m.
Thank you so much, and I will remind everyone of those details a little bit later in the show, but maybe to play us out, we could have one more tune.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
This one's a little different. We're actually going to sing you a radio advertising jingle from the 30s, which is very different to our 21st century Joni Mitchell reinvention. This was written by a guy called Jack O'Hagan, who's actually the man who wrote The Road to Gundagai and Our Don Bradman and all those old classic Australian songs. And we did a show with Barry Humphries a few years ago, and one of the things that he wanted us to showcase was Jack O'Hagan's jingles because he remembered them fondly from his childhood. So this is our favourite, and it really goes to show that in the 30s you didn't have to have any scientific evidence to back you up for what you claimed in your advertising.
I feel like I should add a disclaimer of some kind now.
Yeah, the views of this expressed in this song are not necessarily the views of The Idea of North.
Or the ABC.
Or the ABC.
Or the ABC.
We're also playing advertising music on the ABC. I'm going to be sacked. Take us away.
It's okay, you can't buy this anymore, so it's just a shtick.
When the world seems upside down and you're feeling low, you could easily lose that frown and set your heart aglow. All you really have to do is have a little drink or two. A Gilby's gin is good for you, but don't say gin, say Gilby's. It'll brighten up your day, dry your troubles all the way, put you in a mood so gay. But don't say gin, say Gilby's. Gin is really good for you. Sip it at your leisure. Serve it just to suit your taste. It's bound to give you pleasure. In a cocktail, it's just fine. A gin and tonic, that's divine. Whichever way you take it, it's on the line. But don't say gin, say Gilby's. Gilby's. Gilby's is the gin for you.
Guys, that was tremendous. Thank you so much. That was The Idea of North, live here in the studio. Emma Rule, Naomi Crellin, Luke Thompson, Kai Kitamura and Nick Bedby. Did I get that right, Nick? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in, guys. And if you are interested in hearing them, you can hear The Idea of North at the David Williamson Theatre at Melbourne Polytechnic, and you can head to their Facebook page for all the details. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Cheers.